What's up, YouTube, man? We back at it again, man. Doing what we do best, which is breaking down scary, creepy TikToks that will give you chills, question reality, anything and everything, bro. You're gonna find right here on this channel. Found a good one for you guys today, man. So let's not waste each other's time. Let's dive on in.
Said he reported her missing in 1992, and she was a Pittsburgh street preacher known as
so she's been missing for a minute,
He said he
bro.
came home one night and she was gone and nobody knew where she went. Her husband said that she had had some mental health issues and claimed she wanted to go to Puerto Rico where it was warm. He said it's been almost 31 years and it cost him a lot of money putting out advertisements, even some put out in Puerto Rico. He said he never imagined she would end up right where he thought she would be. He was recently contacted by an Interpol agent who said they believe they had located his wife in Puerto Rico at an adult care home. Individuals who work at the facility said that the woman was found in June of 1999 and needed care. However, they said the woman refused to share her personal life with anyone, and years later, after suffering from dementia, she started to divulge information. Shortly after, they were able to put the puzzle pieces together and through DNA determined that it was the missing woman. Her husband is not the only living family member that she has. Her sister says she is shocked by the news as well. Authorities said it took about a total of 9 months to figure out who she was.
Imagine thinking like your sister is dead and gone and she's been alive this whole time.
What do you think?
What happens when a serial killer kidnaps the most dangerous woman in the world? Preeti Gibbs is the first black female kickboxing world champion. But as a kid, she was always bullied and didn't know how to fight back. One day, they even chased her home. So her mom gave her a broom and told her this:
"You don't beat that, I'ma beat your so you'll get 2 whippings."
Her uncle then taught her martial arts, and she became a professional kickboxer. But one day, she came face to face with the Grim Sleeper, a murderer who killed over 100 women. But things were different. Preeti wasn't a scared little girl anymore. She knew how to fight.
He's like, "Now let me just stick it in, then I'll take you home." And I said no, and I was going around, "No, absolutely not." Then he went to swing, boom, and I blocked it. "Oh, so you wanted them fight moves." And I grabbed it in his shirt tail, swung him back, I stepped on his chest, and I grabbed his and I said, "Listen, when a bitch says no, she means no."
Imagine trying to freaking, imagine that, like, you trying to freaking take somebody and that. First of all, you should be doing that in the first place. Now you about to get your butt kicked, bro. You deserve it, bro. Trying to do that to a damn woman.
Then I left.
I was terrified of
martial arts champion.
but I did it to make my dad happy. My name is Suleiman Dawood, son of Shahzada Dawood, one of Pakistan's richest men. It all started when my dad suggested this idea about taking a trip to see the wreckage of the Titanic.
Damn.
I was hesitant. Just the thought of exploring something at the bottom of the ocean didn't sit right with me.
He didn't want to go, bro.
Nervous,
but he did it anyway.
Worried about the dangers of it. But Father's Day was around the corner, and I was eager to make Dad happy. He always had a strange fascination about the Titanic, and this seemed like the perfect father and son bonding opportunity. I wanted to make him happy, and I felt this was the only way I could. When it came time for the trip, I got cold feet. I grew nauseous as me, my father, and the 3 other passengers boarded the vessel. As we descended down into the ocean, I could feel my heart pounding out of my chest. Soon the light from the sun disappeared, and it was a pitch-black nightmare. For a moment I felt peace, and began to think maybe I was just overreacting. Until what happened next made my nightmares come true. As the deeper we went, crack formed in the hull, sending everyone into a panic. The pilot went into a frenzy, scrambling to find a solution. We tried calling for help to no avail. Then it happened. The walls started shrinking in on us, suffocating us, squishing all 5 of us together. The pressure of the submarine closing in put immense pain on our bodies and lungs till it imploded. The trip I had nightmares about taking ended up being my last moments of reality. But at least I got a chance to make Dad happy one last time. Please share for more awareness. Follow and like if you found it interesting.
So sometimes you have to just say no. That's who they are, bro.
Who are you?
They do not care, bro.
Just a guy. Just a guy.
Just a guy.
Tell me in a sentence
mass murder, bro. Like he's about to do something, bro. What the? He's not there. He's gone, bro. Nah, he's gone, bro. He gone in the head.
On June 22nd, 2005, Anibal Cruz, 11, Daniel Agosto, 6, and Justin Pagan, 5, were reported missing in Camden, New Jersey. Eyewitnesses stated that they had seen the boys enjoying Italian ice in the fenced yard of Annibal's home located in the Kramer Hill neighborhood. While the mothers of Annibal and Daniel were watching over the children from the front porch, they briefly went inside to prepare dinner. However, upon returning outside just 30 minutes later, the boys had vanished without a trace. Despite an exhaustive 2-day search effort involving 150 police officers, including searches of rivers, drain pipes, and wooded areas, no signs of the missing boys were discovered. The investigation took a harrowing turn when Daniel's father, David Agosto, decided to check a parked Toyota sedan in the yard where the boys were last seen. Opening the trunk, Agosto made a chilling and devastating discovery: the lifeless bodies of Annibal, Daniel, and Justin.
Found in the trunk of a parked car, yards from
Damn,
where they
bro,
were.
imagine opening up a trunk, you seen that shit.
I saw on TV my brother looking in front of a car, and then he popped the trunk, and then he went hysterical, and I saw my sister-in-law on the floor crying, and that's when they told me that the kids were dead.
The boys' bodies exhibited no apparent signs of physical trauma, leading to speculation that they may have suffocated. The investigation continued, focusing on determining the cause of death and unraveling the circumstances surrounding their presence in the car's trunk. Authorities expressed confusion and concern over why the trunk of the vehicle had not been searched earlier during the extensive search efforts. Adding to the confusion, none of the bloodhounds utilized in the search had detected the scent of the children near the car.
So what happened, bro?
It was later revealed that a female officer had begun searching the vehicle but was interrupted and failed to resume and complete the search. The officer then falsely reported to her supervisor that the vehicle had been thoroughly searched.
So she lied, bro. Is a serial killer versus real serial killers with the gun? I see you in Disneyland. What the? I don't know, bro.
Photos taken before disaster. Richard Ramirez was 17 in this picture. Let's enhance it with sharp AI. This woman had no idea who her friend really was. He took over 15 lives in just a year.
Damn,
and was
15
known as
bodies?
the Night Stalker 3R. Many said they could see pure evil in his eyes.
The
Do
Night
you
Stalker?
agree?
This case will put you off ever talking to anyone online. This male stabbed his girlfriend over 90 times and then FaceTimed his sister to show her the dead body.
Damn.
Ashley Wordsworth was a 19-year-old girl who met Jack Sepple on Facebook in 2015. She was roughly 11 or 12 at the time.
How you stab somebody? Then she own damn sister, traumatizing her as well.
Continuously sharing messages and chatting
People are
online
freaking
about
crazy,
lives.
bro.
Now, Ashley was from Canada and Jack was from Essex in the UK.
Damn.
Jack treated her really nicely to begin with, talking to her all the time and showering her with gifts and attention.
Okay.
When Ashley turned 16, the relationship between the two began to develop.
And she was young.
Ashley would ask her parents often if she could go to the UK to travel to meet Jack. At first, they were obviously against this, seeing as Jack lived abroad and the two had never met.
Yeah,
however, in 2021, Ashley had graduated high school and saved up to make the trip to meet Jack. Jack actually reassured Ashley's family that he would guard her with his life. Little did they know, she wouldn't actually need protecting from anyone other than him.
Damn.
In November 2021, the pair met for the first time. They went sightseeing around London and Ashley documented this on her social media. However,
taking
things began to
pictures,
take a
I guess,
turn
around
in
in
the next
London.
couple of months. Jack started controlling Ashley. He demanded her social media passwords and made her delete photos without him in them.
Damn.
He also became physically abusive towards her.
It starts, bro.
She was covered in bruises from Jack, and in one altercation, he smashed a glass over her head.
What?
The young girl tried to reach out for help from her friends, but it was clear she was scared of Jack.
She
Bearing in mind
didn't know
Jack had
how.
access to all of her social media, she sent a message to one of her friends one day warning, "Be careful what you say, he's watching," and she then unsent the message to prevent him seeing it.
Okay,
On the
the
1st
friend
of
didn't pick
February
up
2022,
on something
Ashley
then?
turned up to Jack's mum's flat barefoot. She had run there. She was crying and hysterical. She said Jack had smashed her phone, beat her up, and cut her hand.
Damn,
Now, following
bro.
this incident, her parents actually booked her a flight home. She was relieved by this and returned to Jack's flat to wait to go home.
She had to go
now,
to
that
Jack's
day,
flat,
bearing
bro.
in mind this is now obviously nighttime in Canada,
Damn.
Ashley's sister received a text begging her to wake up and answer the phone. When she
Okay.
eventually got this message, she tried to ring
was
Ashley
too
back
late.
and got no reply. At this point, Jack's mum tried to go around to Jack's house and get in. She wasn't able to do so, and the police were eventually called.
So her
When
mom,
officers
the
arrived,
boyfriend
Jack
mom tried to
wouldn't
help
open the door,
too.
so they forced entry. They found an absolutely hideous scene. Jack was lying next to Ashley's dead body in a pool of blood. Jack was casually on FaceTime to his sister, showing her the dead body.
What?
He admitted to strangling her and stabbing her. Jack
Damn,
was sentenced to life
bro.
with a minimum of 23 and a half years.
What happened to Eric Richens and how he told his family that he thought his wife was trying to kill him. Eric Richens was born on May 13th, 1982 in New York to his parents Jean and Philpot Richens. His family was very well known in the community, and everyone says that Eric was a wonderful guy. He actually decided to open his own masonry business with his friend Cody, and they would do a lot of stonework. Though because of this type of work, he would often have to go to Home Depot. And in one of the many times that Eric had to go to Home Depot, he met a girl named Corey. Corey worked as a cashier at Home Depot, and her coworker Linda says that Corey was really kind, that she was very outgoing, and that she was kind of like the it girl at Home Depot. Like all the other employees thought that she was like the most beautiful girl ever, and that she just had a really nice smile. So one day Eric went to Home Depot, and that's when he met Corey, and he asked her out on a date. Fast forward to June of 2013, the pair ended up getting married, and they eventually had 3 children together. Corey ended up leaving her job at Home Depot, and she got into real estate and started flipping homes. Everyone says that Eric was a family guy. He loved his children, and he loved his wife, and he just wanted all of them to have the best life possible.
So
he was a very involved parent, and he would coach on all of his son's teams. It honestly seemed like Eric had it all. He had 3 wonderful children and a loving wife. But as we know, things aren't always as
Take a turn.
On March 3rd, 2022, Eric and Corey were hanging out at the family home. Their 3 children were already asleep, and the pair were awake celebrating the closing of a house that Corey had just made. At around 9 p.m., Eric decided that it was time for bed, so he went upstairs to start getting ready, and that's when Corey decided to make him a Moscow Mule. She made him the drink, and then she brought it to Eric in bed. He drank the Moscow Mule, he had a THC gummy, and then he went to sleep. Not long after that, Corey woke up because one of her sons was having a nightmare. So she got up, she went to go comfort her child, and then she accidentally fell asleep in the child's bedroom. At around 3 a.m., she woke up and decided to head back to the master bedroom to continue to sleep with Eric. However, when she walked into the bedroom, that's when she saw that Eric was unresponsive and cold to the touch. She immediately grabbed her phone that had been charging on the nightstand the entire night, and she called 911. Police and EMTs immediately arrived at the scene, and they did everything they could to try and revive Eric, but unfortunately, he was declared dead. This was very shocking to everyone because Eric was 39 years old, so he was relatively young and healthy. A toxicology report was done, and it concluded that Eric was killed by a large amount of fentanyl. The fentanyl wasn't medical grade, it was most likely something that you would get on the street. Now this was shocking because Eric did not have a history of doing hard drugs. It was just a lot for everyone to take in, and of course Corey and her 3 children were absolutely heartbroken. Corey just didn't know what to do to comfort her children, so that's when she decided to write a children's book about grief. She would read this book to her children every single night to help them deal with the loss of their father. She even went on the news to talk about this book and why she wrote it. However, the night her episode premiered, one of the news anchors that interviewed Corey received an anonymous email that said, "You know she killed her husband, right?" Okay, more in part 2. This is what happened to 14-year-old Alicia Navarro.
I need to see part 2 of that, bro.
Note saying she would return, but hasn't come back yet. Alicia Navarro was born on September 20th, 2004 to her parents Jessica and Ivan Nunez. She was the oldest of 2. She had a younger brother and a younger sister. She lived in Glendale, Arizona, and she had a dog named Sushi that she absolutely adored. Alicia has autism, and her mother Jessica was pretty much her main caretaker. She would take her to her therapy sessions, to her doctor's appointments, and had a very close relationship. Social interactions were really overwhelming for Alicia, so she did have a little group of friends, but she would mainly spend her time online. She loved to go on gaming forums, she would go on Discord, and she had a lot of online friends. Now Jessica was never too worried about what her daughter was doing online because she felt like her daughter was safe. She figured Alicia was safe inside the house, she knew about what websites her daughter was looking at.
She was
she just wanted her daughter to be happy. It was very difficult for Alicia to socialize with people in person, so she wanted to make friends online, and that was the way that
her mom's gonna let her do that,
supported it. At the time of her disappearance, Alicia was 14 years old and she was a freshman in high school. Now, this was a big transition for her, but she actually was making friends in person and she was actually happy. And her mother Jessica was just so happy that this big change wasn't too overwhelming for Alicia. Alicia took great comfort in having a strict routine. This routine was disrupted, she would get agitated. So for example, she liked to listen to the same type of music, which was normally pop hits. She would eat the same type of foods. She only wore long sleeve shirts even in the hot Arizona weather. This is just what worked for Alicia, but
so she was on the schedule and she stuck to it.
Things started to change. She started to show new interests, so instead of listening to pop music, she started listening to rock, such as Pink Floyd. She started to read more comic books, specifically Marvel's Demon in a Bottle series.
Really?
She also started to ask her mother if she could buy some body sprays and perfumes, which Jessica found a little bit odd. Normally, she never wore perfume or anything like that because she had an aversion to overpowering smells. But now, she really wanted some perfume, and she also started asking her mom if she could wear some makeup. On top of all these changes, she also started asking her mom if she could buy some more, kind of provocative clothing. She went from always wearing a long sleeve shirt to now asking her mom if she could buy her an open back shirt. Jessica found these new interests a little bit odd, but she just figured that maybe it was because of high school. Maybe her friends had peer pressured her to start wearing makeup, or provocative clothing, things like that. September 14th, 2019, just 5 days before her 15th birthday, Alicia asked her mom if she could stay home from school. Jessica agreed, and they had a wonderful day together. They went to McDonald's, they went to get their eyebrows threaded, and they went to a chocolate shop. When they got home later that night, she said that she heard Alicia laughing in her bedroom. The next morning, at around 7 a.m., Jessica went downstairs to start making breakfast for the family, and that's when she noticed that the back door was cracked open. She asked her husband if he left the door open, and he said no. So she went outside to see what had happened, and that's when she saw that there were 2 chairs leaning against the brick wall. They ran over to Alicia's room to see if everything was okay, but Alicia was gone. All they found was this note from Alicia that said, "I ran away, I will be back, I swear, I'm sorry." Okay, more
So she just ran away and left the note?
Recently, body camera footage of the Artesia, New Mexico police arresting Alexi Treviso has been released, shedding light on the dynamics between her and her controlling mother. In the video, Treviso's mother can be seen demanding to see a warrant from the police and repeatedly asking for information regarding the 19-year-old's arrest.
So what is she under arrest for?
She's over 18.
I understand that.
Right.
Detective Gonzalez. Right. What is she under arrest for?
She has warrant for arrest. Okay?
For what?
That's all I know.
What?
Okay.
What do you...
She refuses to bring out Treviso until she is presented with a warrant, and even expresses her intention to take legal action against the police department and the hospital, presumably indicating her intention to sue them. This is puzzling since neither the hospital nor the police department can be held responsible for Alexi's actions.
Yeah.
It's an arrest warrant for her. It's not a search warrant for your house.
I want to see the arrest warrant.
And what will that...
Damn, bro. If they show the warrant, then they have to go in. What the f... She's there?
Finally, when Alexei does appear, she appears nervous and somewhat confused.
He's like, what the hell is going on?
Do you know your date of birth? Okay.
She looking nervous, like she did something. She looking like side to side, like what the hell?
Yeah. I'll go get it.
Something went down, bro.
Are you okay with your mom getting your phone complaint when we get to the detention center? It has your personal information on it. Are you okay with your mother getting the criminal complaint? It has your personal identifying information on it. Serial number, date of birth. Yes. Are you okay? Yes. Okay.
What the hell? What'd she do? No, she was looking nervous, suspicious, or like...
So I watched this documentary last night, and I just need to share my thoughts because it's eating me alive on how I don't think this person's death was an accident.
Really?
The documentary I watched is called No Limits, and it follows the story of Audrey Mester in her attempt to break the 160-meter no limits freediving record in 2002. So Audrey was a French student who was studying marine biology in Mexico when she met Francisco Pipin Ferreira, who was this legendary Cuban freediver. They eventually married and started traveling the world, filming their freediving experiences together. In 2000, Pipin suffered this crazy blackout whilst he was attempting his deepest dive, and he essentially semi-retired from the sport and started training Audrey for the No Limits world record.
Okay, so he hanged it up
October 12th, 2002, with a dive team under her husband Pipin's supervision, Audrey attempted the 171-meter freedive, which was the world record. So she successfully reached the 171-meter mark. However, when she was on the ocean floor. She had to basically open a valve to inflate air into this air tank that would essentially rapidly lift her up to the surface. However, when she went to open the cylinder, there was no air in it.
What?
The safety diver came right over to her and tried to inflate the tank with his own air. However, it did not ascend fast enough. A dive that should have been no longer than 3 minutes left Audrey under the water for over 8 minutes. The dive was so controversial because the setup was so far from the common safety standards of freediving.
Was it a setup?
Funny. Pippin was targeted because he essentially hurried this underfunded organization in an attempt to break the world record. There was 2 safety divers as opposed to 16. There was no qualified medical staff and minimal rescue equipment.
Really?
The most controversial part of the entire thing is the fact that Pippin was in charge of Audrey's lift bag air tank. And not only did he not check it, but he didn't let any members of their team even near it to check it.
Was it a setup?
It had been filled, is what I mean, with air.
And this whole thing was filmed,
safely
bro.
ascend. The most frustrating part is the fact that when Audrey resurfaced, she did have a pulse. Even after 8 minutes underwater, she still had a pulse. And the fact that Pippin had not hired any medical staff or a doctor, she was not able to be revived. And unfortunately, she passed away on the
shocking case of the Philpots. On the 11th of May 2012, 6 children were in bed asleep when a huge fire broke out of their home. The smoke roared through the building. Mairead Philpot, the children's mother, called the emergency
6 kids died, bro?
Their dad, Mick Philpot, was reportedly making heroic attempts to try and save them. However, 5 children unfortunately died in the fire, and the eldest actually passed away in hospital later on. At first, this appeared to be a tragic accident, but the truth was soon revealed. The fire had been started intentionally with petrol underneath the letterbox. When word got out about who the children's father was, many people were already familiar with him. Mick Philpot was notorious for being outspoken and provocative and had appeared on the Jeremy Kyle show. He claimed to have had 2 wives and seemed to be really proud of this. He also had a horrible history of abusive behaviour towards women. He had been convicted for attacking 2 women with a knife and headbutting a female colleague. A press conference was held about the tragedy that had unfolded. Reporters really expected at this point for the Philpots to come out and appeal to anyone who had any information about the fire.
So they wanted more info,
Did was just kind of came out and started thanking people. They didn't ask for any help with any information about the case at all.
Thanking people.
The only thing Mick asked for is to be left alone. If this genuinely had nothing to do with the parents, you would think that they would come out and be desperate for more information.
Yeah,
neighbours from across the road actually went to the police and told them that they had seen Mick during the fire. He was outside pretending to cough, not actually going in trying to help rescue his children.
So he lied about that too?
Suspicious enough to try and set a trap for the Philpots.
Okay.
Kept them in a hotel room and actually bugged the room. The recording reveals Mick quizzing his wife about how convincing she'd been in her police interview. Locals had also spotted the couple in a pub doing karaoke, dancing and drinking shots. Incredibly strange behaviour for 2 people who just lost their children.
Exactly.
It also came out that Mick was reportedly flirting with nurses at the hospital where his son was on a life support machine.
What?
The true story of what actually happened was all about Mick Philpot getting revenge on his ex. In early 2012, one of his wives had left him. She walked out with 5 of their children, and Mick just could not take this rejection. He wanted to do something to get her back.
So we're gonna murder all of his damn kids, bro, just to get back at his wife.
Set the fire up to frame the ex to make it look like she'd done it.
He tried to set her up too.
Dad to save all his children and for his ex to go to prison for it.
This is
Mick
crazy,
got life
bro.
in prison for this. Mairead got 17 years.
This is Jared Fogle, one of the worst pedophiles in American history. So if you don't know who Jared Fogle was, he was the spokesperson for Subway for a number of years. Jared initially became famous and then eventually became the spokesman of Subway because he dropped so much weight while eating a Subway diet. According to Jared, he lost almost 245 pounds while eating almost exclusively from Subway. Obviously, this was a huge story, and when Subway heard about this, they contacted Jared and eventually made him the spokesman for their entire company. I swear to God, I remember this. For years, you couldn't turn on the TV without seeing this guy's face. So in 2004, when Jared was at the height of his popularity, he launched the Jared Foundation, a foundation determined to fight childhood obesity. This foundation saw Jared touring schools across the nation, talking to kids about losing weight, and just being heavily involved with children, which people at the time thought was a great thing. But it was when he was away from the cameras, behind the scenes, when Jared was engaging in some of the most deplorable behavior I've ever read about. So in 2007, a radio host and journalist from Florida came forward to the FBI and reported that Jared was saying and doing some concerning things. Apparently, while at a middle school event, Jared had been talking to her about performing lewd acts on a minor. He had texted her about all of these things, and she even recorded him saying all this stuff. At one point, apparently, Jared even asked this journalist if she could install webcams in her children's bedrooms so he could watch them. Obviously, this was concerning. This journalist recorded all of this, turned it into the FBI, but they told her that they couldn't do anything because they didn't have enough evidence. And now we got to talk about Russell Taylor, a guy who was heavily involved in Jared's foundation. So when he wasn't working on the Children's Foundation, this guy, Russell Taylor, was producing CP in his home. Apparently, between the years 2011 and 2015, Russell Taylor had videotaped minors in his own home and traded photographs of them with none other than, you guessed it, Jared Fogle, king of the football. According to court documents, Jared actually asked Russell if he could move some of the nanny cams in his home so he could watch children in varying states of undress or while they were naked taking a bath. Russell also claimed that Jared made him set up accounts on porn sites in his name, and he wanted to basically run his whole CP operation for him. Well, shortly after Russell Taylor was arrested, Jared Fogle's home was raided, and guess what they found? A ton of CP. On the same day that his home was raided, Subway severed all ties with Jared, and some new disturbing facts came to light during the trial.
Which was?
Apparently, years prior, Jared had been texting a Subway franchisee named Cindy. And over these texts, he talked about wanting to abuse kids aged 9 to 16.
What the hell?
He told Cindy she should sell herself for sex on Craigslist, and even asked her to arrange a sexual meetup between him and her 16-year-old cousin.
Oh my God,
Eventually, Jared pled guilty to possession of CP and traveling to conduct an illicit sexual behavior with a minor. Apparently, while in New York City, he paid to have sex with a 17-year-old girl. But this story isn't over yet. I'm going to post part 2, and it definitely gets more interesting from here on out.
I definitely can see what part 2 is, bro.
About 15 minutes ago.
Really?
My daughter's in the car, and I'm afraid
She had a breakdown or something? What the hell?
Okay, what is your? Can you spell your husband's last name?
C-A-R-D-A-L-L.
Damn, bro.
B as in boy. O.
You hear him in the background, bro.
Dog, E-L-L.
I'm sorry. C-A-R-D-A-L-L.
You hear him in the background, bro.
As fast as they can.
I just want him to. I'm so scared.
Something wrong,
They're
bro.
coming as fast as they can. Okay. What I want you to do.
No.
Say, get out.
Ann.
Yes.
Okay. I need you to talk to me. Is he thinking about committing suicide?
No, I don't think so. No. When did I get in the car?
What the Oh man, bro. What?
Has he injured your daughter at all?
No. He's scared.
What the hell, bro? Doing this from his daughter too? Oh man, bro. It's giving me freaking chills, man. What the hell? What? I know that's funny. What the hell?
Ann, I want you to know that the right people are coming. They're coming as fast as they can.
I'm so scared. I can't do this.
What the hell?
Ann, what color and type of car do you have?
I pulled over on the side of the road in a gray.
What the hell? You hear him like one? It's in the background, bro.
Okay, a gray Toyota Matrix. Were you heading towards Hurricane or towards Colorado?
Oh man, bro. This is insane, bro. What is he saying? He's saying this is like an effing thrill or something, bro? What the hell?
I want you, if it's safe to do so, I want you to observe him continuously. Right?
Oh, I can't help you.
She said, I can't help you.
And if it...
What the hell? I don't think she can't do it. She don't have no choice. What the hell?
No, I'm not. No, you are not getting in this car.
You're trying to get in a car? Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Nope. What? Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to let him in the car, bro. He's going through something. What's the sign? What the hell?
Keep talking. Would you ever like to meet the president? No. Yes, well, I want to meet him someday. And if you
I want to meet the president.
So let us see that day. We've got to go now.
He's saying if you weren't able to see that. Hell no, bro. I think yeah, she did it right there and I'll let him in the car, bro. That's just insane. YouTube, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today, man. Like I said, we're trying to grow this channel together, man. So I really appreciate it if you guys can hit that like button, subscribe, man. I really appreciate the support. Like I said, also tell me in the comment section down below, guys, what do you guys want to name my community names? I'm taking any and all ideas, bro. Like I said, it's only fair. We're growing this community together, so you guys should have an input. Guys, I'm catching the next one, and I'm out. Peace, YouTube.